Welcome back to Vinyl Decal School. Thanks for joining me. Any likes, follows and subscribes are always appreciated, so thank you in advance for those. So I only sell vinyl decals, but people are always asking me questions specific to selling stickers, which I get because the term vinyl stickers gets used interchangeably quite a lot, and they are quite similar, but they do also have some significant differences. So I thought it was about time that I did a video on the main differences between vinyl decals and stickers, as well as the pros and cons of selling both. This is just my opinion, but I will try and be as unbiased as possible. So both are popular sellers according to the Etsy marketplace insights from spring and summer this year. There has been a 92% year-on-year increase of searches for them. And you can sell both at the same time, you don't have to choose one or the other, but it is good to know the differences. So this is a very simple comparison, feel free to add more points in the comments if you wish. But basically the main difference is vinyl decals are patterns or lettering cut from vinyl, usually using a cutting machine. They tend to be opaque, and once they're applied, all you can see is that pattern with no background. I do have a beginner's guide to making decals if you want to check that out and you want a more in-depth process of how they work. Stickers, on the other hand, are usually printed on sticker paper or some kind of other sticky material and can be peeled directly off their backing paper and stuck directly to a surface. There is of course some overlap, as you can get clear sticker paper and printable vinyl, but I'm not going to go into that as I feel like it will get confusing. And then there are also labels, which is another term that can be used to describe both decals and stickers. So again, confusing, and I'm not going to cover those. Just your standard vinyl decals versus stickers. So first, the pros of selling and using decals. So one of the main reasons people use decals is so you can still see either through or around the design. So for example, this is why a lot of people use them on shop windows. So they're not blocking all of the light in the window, you can just see through the lettering. Or also on kind of wedding signs, if they're on like a nice painted acrylic, you don't want to lose that whole backing finish, or like a nice wood background. You just want to be able to see the lettering, you don't want to block the whole background. And decals work really well for this. They can also last a long time without sun damage if you're using a good quality permanent outdoor vinyl. And they tend to be more waterproof than stickers. And so they're often used for outdoor stuff and on vehicles for this reason. They are also much easier to cut as larger designs because you don't have to worry about how big your printer can print. And you can also use them as stencils too, so they are kind of multi-purpose in that way. I think the biggest con with decals though is that you have to weed them. If you don't know what that means, it's just when you get rid of all of the excess vinyl from both the outside and inside of the letters, so that you're just left with your design on the backing paper. Sometimes this is super quick if you're making a larger design, but if you're doing kind of smaller or more intricate pieces, it can take quite a while. This also means you usually have to use transfer tape in order to apply your decals, which does create extra waste and means buying extra supplies. And they can be a lot more fiddly to apply than stickers, especially when you create those more intricate ones. Also, if you want multiple colours on your design with vinyl, you usually have to do multiple layers and cut them out all separately, unless you're using printed or patterned vinyl. And again, layering can take a little bit of time and can be a bit fiddly. And so with stickers, on the other hand, they are much easier to apply. Usually it's just a case of peeling the backing paper off and sticking them where you want to go. Although if you are using larger ones, it might need a bit of help getting kind of air bubbles out, but still easier than decals, I would say. You can also make them a little bit more eco-friendly with recycled sticker paper if you're trying to be more conscious. If you're an artist, designer or illustrator, then stickers are a great way to sell your art affordably and to a mass audience. But also if you sell them to businesses and events and stuff, you can sell them in mass quantities as well. Stickers do tend to be smaller than decals in nature, which is a good thing for selling multiple quantities. But it could potentially be a bad thing if you've got more individual designs or you're doing custom stuff and you can only sell them in small batches. And so you don't have to necessarily make them yourself. You can outsource the production to print on demand places or sites like Sticker Mule I've heard of before. Obviously you'll make less of a profit if you do it this way, which is kind of a downside, but it does mean it will save you time. If you do want to make them yourself at home, you will need a really good quality printer as well as a cutting machine. So that is a downside, that you will need more equipment in comparison to decals. And print and cut, which is what you need to make stickers, especially on a Cricut machine, can sometimes be a bit hit or miss if you're not calibrated correctly. So that could be a potential issue. And if you want to create larger stickers or larger sticker sheets, you may be limited to what you can create because of the size of your printer or kind of the area your cutting machine can cut. Stickers are also not usually weatherproof unless you seal them with something else, and can fade in the sun, or the design can run if they get wet. So they're not always the best option for outdoor application. The pros for both stickers and decals though are that they are really easy to ship. They're both flat and pretty lightweight, so you can put them in flat envelopes or tubes. You can get a really good markup on both because both vinyl and sticker paper is not too expensive to buy. And unless you're creating custom designs, you can pre-make them ahead of time, so they're just ready to go out the door. See my video here on custom versus pre-made designs if you want to do a bit more of a deep dive into that subject. The cons of both are that usually they do have to be sold at low price points if you're doing individual stickers or small decals. They also both usually need extra sealing before they are fully heat proof and can go through a dishwasher. So that would be something you'd have to look into if you want to do like tumblers or mugs and you want to use either stickers or decals. And even when they're sealed, the adhesive on them may break down eventually, although some can last a very long time, especially if it's a really strong sealant. Both also work best on kind of flat, smooth surfaces. They can be a little bit problematic if you're trying to stick them on a rough surface. They will often work, but they don't look as good as on a smooth, flat surface. I just kind of sped through that, so here is a bit more of a breakdown of the pros and cons of each. So as you can see, there are lots of pros and cons to making and selling both. And if you're torn between the two, I hope this has helped. Let me know in the comments if you have any other pros and cons that I've missed, if you have any questions. And please don't forget to like, follow and subscribe for more videos like this in future.